infamous First Light takes us back to the rain-swept streets of Seattle for some more superhero hijinks. And for this standalone chapter, the original hero Delsin is out, and instead we have the neon punk Fetch.
Look over us and light our way.
The best thing about First Light is that you don't have to play as Delsin. Heck, there are a few characters that I genuinely hate in video games, but I hate Delsin. I hate his face and his beanie and his voice.
So, Eugene, my brother, what do you say? You and me, a couple conduits, we hit the town, you teach me some of those video tricks, I teach you how to pick up girls, and we take our power to the people.
Yeah, it was definitely a good move to bench him and let us play as someone else.
Yes, anyone would be better than Delsin. A robot, a tree, anything. It's no surprise that Fetch comes across far more likable.
And it sure helps when the performance capture is this good.
Help me.
There is no shortage of emotion in these story sequences.
Given the chance, would you kill him?
This story is a prequel to Second Son, and much like Delsin, Fetch is a superpowered conduit. We're introduced to her as she sits in prison being interrogated. And as she tells her story, the game flashes back and forth between the present day and 2 years earlier in Seattle during the events leading up to her capture.
Those breaks from reality changed me.
Surprise, surprise, things don't go well for Fetch. A botched job sees her brother kidnapped, which forces her to work with the ultra creepy Shane.
Yes, I was glad to see Fetch didn't waste any time telling him off.
We made a hell of a team out there on the streets. Imagine what we'd be like in the sack.
Get your boys armed and out looking for Brents, or I'll laze a hole in your sack.
Just like the original game, you'll be spending a lot of time using your superpowers to dash around and shoot at the anti-conduit agency, the DUP. With Fetch's neon powers, she can turn herself into beams of light, which makes running up buildings and bouncing around the cityscape a real joy.
These neon powers were in the last game, so depending on how you played that game, the combat here could feel a bit repetitive. But since I went down the evil path last time, the precision laser shooting was pretty new to me. And it's definitely satisfying using her powers to slow time to a crawl and then pick off each enemy's weak spot.
They have added in a few different neon powers too, like the melee moves, which balance out her shooting so she's more of an all-rounder. Plus, she can do this.
Just be done, you dicks!
Yes, being able to throw black holes at your enemies is handy, even though it breaks about a billion laws of physics.
Well, remember we are talking about a superhero whose power is based on neon signs, so...
True. It is a bit silly when you think about it, isn't it? In general, the combat is just as polished and stylish as we've come to expect from the infamous games. And even though Second Son was a decent game, that lack of mission variety really let it down, I think, and they've tried to address that with this.
Yeah, they have. I mean, we do get a few new mission types to try out.
Any ideas?
There's this car chase mission where you're trying to protect Shane's truck from the goons that are following. And also these ones where a conveniently placed disco light on rooftops gives you overcharged lasers to shoot at the waves of enemies.
Oh, you saved him? Oh, thank the Lord.
I liked both those mission types the first time they popped up, but they just kept coming back again and again, didn't they?
Yeah, we did also get those prison training missions to kind of mix things up a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Come at me. Close up with a bunch of guys.
In between each flashback, you're given the chance to try out a new power against holograms. And they pack a decent challenge, because you're trapped in a room with the enemy, so you can't escape to recharge the way you can in the city, and I like that.
God, they were tough. But I think the length of this game helped as well. It took about 5 hours for me, which felt just right, and it meant that I didn't mind the limited variety much, especially since the main combat is so satisfying.
Yeah, it's the perfect length, I think, and even though I know it's busy work, I still enjoyed hunting down those power-up orbs around the city. And when you see them floating in the sky, you just have to find the right building to leap off to nab it. And especially with the new turbo clouds scattered around the city. Much like a magpie hex, if I see something shiny, I just need to get it.
Well, after collecting 100 power-ups in the last game, I can't say I was quite as keen on another treasure hunt. Apparently busting open one neon sign created all of those power-up orbs. But the city is full of neon signs, which she can't be bothered using for more orbs. Explain that to me, game.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap, but I still like shinies.
Alright, you lazy neon gas. Go make yourself useful.
Overall, this game doesn't take any giant leaps over the original, but I think fans of the series would enjoy the new tricks, and that'll be enough to keep them consistently entertained.
Yeah, I thought it was an improvement as well, and if you haven't played the original, I actually think that First Light is a better place to start. I mean, it's a prequel, so you don't need to know anything about the story, and it's a better paced game for a fraction of the price.
Yeah, plus it's so pretty when it rains and those sunsets, and that excites me about the future of the franchise when they start doing some real things in this world, so I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It's an 8 from me too.